This is the second day of meetings by the acting president on the singular issue of threats by two ethnic groups, which has gained momentum in recent weeks.
Please be seated.
Professor Shibajo told a cross-section of leaders of thoughts from across the southeast that loyalty to the nation should always take precedence over any belief or group, urging them to speak out against divisive speeches.
Burying our heads in the sand and expecting the storm to blow over of their own accord is not an option. But equally not reasonable is falling for the temptation for any kind of tit for tat, whether it is in language used or is in the kinds of gestures that have been expressed. This has never worked or moved anyone closer to a peaceful or sensible resolution. It's also clear that war sometimes starts not with bullets, but with words. Hateful, incendiary speech opening floodgates of blood. The tongue, like the pen, is often mightier than the sword, because that is what pushes the... Knowing this, under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal. Let there be no doubt whatsoever of the resolve of government to ensure that no one will be allowed to get away with making speeches that can cause division, especially violence. We'll take very seriously any attempts to cause violence or to disrupt the peace of Nigeria.
Restating his earlier warning, the acting president says the federal government would not hide beneath any ethnic or religious platform to lend support to any group.
I'm sure so many of us have heard it, that without peace and security there can be no development. And the first obligation that we owe if we want to develop is to ensure peace and security. It is also the aspiration of the Constitution to ensure a country in which, and I quote, loyalty to the nation shall override sectional loyalties. And it's the responsibility of the government to create the conditions for the attainment of these ideals.
3 hours after the closed-door meeting, the governor of Ebonyi State told State House correspondents that the new resolve is for all to engage in peaceful dialogue.
We emphasize that there is a need for everybody to, restrain from making hate statements. We should be making statements that should be binding us together, statements of love, statements of unity, statements of hope, and of course, we should also work very hard.
The consultative meeting will be rounded up with every invited group in attendance and, in the end, chart a positive way forward for all Nigerians. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.